Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is AhTravesty playing some Pillars of Eternity. First things first, I need to put a big shout out to one of my subscribers who actually introduced me to this game. He's a well-known modder in the Neverwinter Nights 2 community with the screen name of All Up In You. He's the creator of the mods for Neverwinter Nights 2 called Fanglewood and the Murder in Dunlop, among other things, both of which I played and highly enjoyed. If you're into party-based RPGs, I highly recommend you check out his works on the Neverwinter Nexus. You won't be disappointed, I guarantee it. So, Lincoln, thank you very much for your kind generosity. You're a gentleman and a scholar. Thank you very much, sir. Alright, so let's get into the game. As you can see by looking down in the lower left-hand corner, I'm patched to version 1.04. And as you can also see, I'm using the IE mod. I played this game for about 45 minutes on vanilla just to get my head wrapped around the mechanics of the game, and I did run into a few things that I didn't really care for. Not really bugs, but more just annoyances, so I went online to the community to see if there was any mods out there that could clear up these things that I didn't like. And sure enough, it appeared that I wasn't the only one who had the same dislikes. So someone created a mod called the IE mod to sort out these annoyances. We'll discuss what some of the changes that this mod does in the game, but it certainly fixed up a lot of the annoyances that I hated. So let's go ahead and start a new game. Alright, here we are into the game settings. We got easy, normal, hard, and Path of the Damned. Now what the difference is between these difficulty settings are here, as far as easy, normal, and hard go, all the differences is the number of the enemies that you'll encounter and the amount of the supplies that you can have for camping. Like, for example, on easy difficulty, let's say you run into an encounter, you might have, let's say, 1 wolf. And a normal difficulty, you might have 2 wolves. And on hard difficulty, you might have 3 wolves. And for camping supplies, I think on easy difficulty, I think you can have like 6 camping supplies. On normal difficulty, you can have 4. Hard difficulty, you can have 2. And on Path of the Damned, you're going to have all these wolves, like 3 wolves, and in addition to that, all their stats are going to be 50% increased, so it's going to be hella difficult. But as far as I know, as you play this game, it gets a hell of a lot easier even on Path of the Damned as you progress through the game, but I don't know for sure. But I don't know. I think I'm going to start the game on hard, to be honest with you. I'm going to go with hard. Expert mode, I think what that does is it disables all the helper stuff in the game. But a lot of that stuff can be disabled in the menu anyway, so I'm just going to leave that shut off for now, because I'm a noob. I'm gonna probably need all the help I can get at the get-go. Right? Like I said, I only played about 45 minutes to an hour into this game, so I don't really know what the hell I'm doing anyways. Trial of Iron, that's just giving you 1 save slot for the entire game, but I'm kind of afraid to do that, because if the game crashes or something like that and I only have 1 save, it might screw up this LP, so I'm kind of afraid to do that, so I'm going to leave that disabled. So we're just going to go with hard difficulty and then go from there. So let's go.
Five wagons grope blindly for the path on a starless night, their master glancing ever upward to the skies for assurance that he is on the right course. A dim lantern his only protection against the encroaching darkness. But the skies bring no comfort, shining no light, betraying no hint of what they know. The caravan carries travelers bound for the frontier hamlet of Gilded Vale, you among them, where a local lord has offered land and wealth to settlers from abroad looking for a fresh start. You have taken suddenly ill, sweating and shivering, and one of the other travelers signals for the caravan master to stop on your behalf. He pulls up just in time to avoid plowing into the trunk of a fallen tree that bars the way ahead. You will go no further tonight.
Alright, for the most part, I'm going to let all these dialogues run, so if you're not interested in any of that, please just skip ahead in the video. Alright, what do we got here? Alright, like I said, I played a little bit into this, so I know about all this beginning stuff here. The caravan master finishes addressing the group, his bushy red mustache and sagging jowls quivering as if for emphasis.
Everybody stays close to the wagons, got it? Stay out of the woods, and beasts take you if you were planning a stroll through those ruins up there. Whole area's crawling with hut-dwelling types who'd be happy to stick an axe in you for trespassing. So mind that you don't track mud on their sacred blazing rocks. Tonight, everybody stays put, and in the morning we'll get the path cleared. Gilded Vale's less than a day out. Understood? Touch of the rumbling rot, could be. There's a stinging beetle round here, carries it. You'll be fine once it passes your innards. Unless you don't drink water, course. Which case you'll be dead in a day. There's a berry grows in these parts, small and pink, called a springberry, about the size of a fingernail. Give you cramps if you eat it, but the frontiersmen make a tea from it. Calms the insides. Should get you through the night. You might check around, see if you can find some. Meanwhile, I'll see if we can scare you up some water. I know you want to hunt before it gets much darker, but see about refilling our water first. Got a sick one here.
Where would I find these berries?
They grow on a bush that's common round here, kind of funny looking. You'll know it when you see it. Doubt you'd have to go far off the road to find one.
What are those ruins?
Nothing you won't see on half the hills of Air Glonfoth. Money to be made selling their knickknacks in Defiance Bay, if you don't mind getting stuck with Glonfoth and arrows now and again. They didn't build them, but I'll be the effigy if they don't watch them like a mother bear. Of course, all the ones around here have been ransacked 10 times over. Got nothing left worth half a pawn, so I hear.
Who did build those ruins?
Got different names for them. Settlers called them Ingwithans. Nobody that liked them enough to stop them becoming ruins, tell you that much.
Is it dangerous out here?
Not if you hurry about your business. And not if the weather holds up.
What kind of weather did they get here?
This time of year, rain mostly, and wind. But there's a different kind of wind out here time to time. Locals call it a beawick, born out of the ether, the spirit's path. Never seen it myself, never cared to.
What are these huge rocks coming up out of the ground?
They don't got Audra where you come from? Well, it just grows up out of the ground like this. Goes deep like tree roots. Some of it all the way to the heart of the world, you believe the stories. It's more like a shell than a proper rock. Easier to work if you're a mason. Got all kinds of strange properties. Seems to have some kind of life of its own. Dies if it gets dug up. Loses its luster. Folks think it probably grew at one point or another, but not these days. The soul butchers in Defiance Bay use it for different things. I've heard tell it can hold a man's soul, but I don't care to see it. Got enough to worry about without seeing something like that.
Alright, I guess I'll go see about those berries then.
Hold on. Take someone with you. I know you're not some helpless tenderfoot, not like most of this lot. But you drop dead, I don't want to be looking for the body. Got a schedule to keep. Kalisha. Kalisha! He needs to find some springberries. Watch that he doesn't drop dead.
No promises.
What kind of guide says something like that?
Kind you can afford.
Don't listen to her, you're in good hands. And I pay too well, if anything. Off with you. Hayden should have supplies. See that you're equipped before you head out. We're in harsh country. Get your berries and hurry back. And if you get so much as a tickle of wind, you drop everything and you run. Something in the air tonight. If it's a beawick, we'll shelter in the ruins. Hut dwellers be damned.
You heard the man. Let's get going before you keel over.
As you wish.
Alright. Okay, I decided not to include the character creation portion of this game because frankly all it was me just clicking through a bunch of options and reading all the tooltip pop-ups and to be perfectly honest, it was quite boring. I didn't want to bore you guys with all that stuff because me being a noob, it wasn't very interesting at all. So I thought it would be more important just to show you guys the final product that I came up with my character creation, and I'll show you my character here in a moment. But before we get into that, I want to show you what the IE mod is doing for us. And what you can see right now is all these NPCs now have circles underneath them, and they're all blue circles. That is actually something that the IE mod is doing for us, and I kind of like that. Something else that the mod is doing for us is if we go into stealth
A
mode,
blade in the dark.
you can actually move faster now, whereas in vanilla you would actually move very slowly. That I found that to be quite annoying in the vanilla version. So I like that portion of the IE mod too. Something else that I found very annoying in the vanilla version, if you would tab right now, all these NPCs would have these name tags brought up above their heads. That was very annoying. Right now I'm tabbing and you cannot see the name tags unless you actually mouse over these characters. So that's something that that mod does too that I like very much. So let's go into the menu, and as you can see there is now an IE mod tab here and a dispositions tab. Let's go ahead and take a look at the IE mod. These are all the new things that the IE mod provides for us now. Let's take a look at this. Starting at the top, this one tooltip at a time, that's what I just explained to you. This actually fixes that name tag problem that I just explained to you, where if you tab, it doesn't produce all the name tags above all the NPCs' heads and things of that nature. So you can disable the engagement system from here too. I actually have that disabled right now because I kind of like the engagement system as it is. I might decide to disable that later on, but we'll see. Here's where you can actually enable the blue selection circles under the NPCs that I explained just a little bit ago. And here you can also enable or disable the circles under the NPCs. You can do that right there. Here you can enable or disable the unlocking of the combat inventories. In the vanilla system, apparently you could not move inventory items between all your companions and your players during combat. With this enabled, you can now do that. I think you should be able to move inventory items between all your companions during combat, so I'm going to go ahead and leave that enabled. Here you can also enable new names for the fantasy names for backers from here, because apparently some of them have some funky ass names and it's quite immersion breaking. So you can enable new names for them from here. And there's one here that fixes moving recovery rate. I'm not entirely sure what that is about, but apparently there was a penalty for a recovery rate for moving characters. I'm thinking it'd probably be wise to leave that enabled, so I'm going to go ahead and leave that enabled for now. Here you can disable the fast scouting mode, which I explained just a little bit ago. If you want to keep your scouting characters moving at that slower rate, then go ahead and disable that from here. And here you can enable an improved AI. I'm not sure what the improvements are, but I'm going to go ahead and leave that enabled anyways. And you can also change the autosave frequency from here. I'm leaving it on standard right now, but apparently, I guess further into the game, the autosaves can get quite large. And what that does is make the load times actually longer. I'm not entirely sure, but we'll see as we progress through the games. And here you can actually nerf the XP tables for your character so you don't level so fast. I'm going to leave that as disabled for now. And here is the NPC disposition fix. Apparently there was an issue with the dispositions for NPCs with regard to paladins and priests. And I think that's where this disposition tab here comes into effect for one of your companions, particularly Palagina. I think that's how you pronounce that name. Apparently there was no specific disposition for her, and that's where you can set it right here as far as the favored disposition and the disfavored position. That actually was not set, and this is where you can do that right from here. So I think that's a very important mod to use. Alright, so that's the meat and potatoes of that mod. Alright, let's take a look at our characters here. So I went ahead and made a rogue. I have a first level rogue, amply named Travis. Alright, I have a drifter background. I guess I'm gonna kind of use him in kind of like a support role, maybe more of a striker type of character here. He's got a decent might with a 15, which gives him a decent damage increase and a decent fortitude. Constitution's going to be average with a 10. He's got a decent dexterity with a 14, which is going to give him an increase in action speed and a bonus to reflex. He's got a perception of 14, which is going to give him a 12 interrupt and an increase in deflection as well as reflex. Intellect is going to be 10, which doesn't give him any bonuses, and his resolve is going to be pretty decent too with a 15. So that's going to give him a 15 concentration and a decent deflection and a bonus to will too. So I guess I could kind of use him as a fighter as well, but he's going to be more of a striker role because his deflection isn't going to be as good as a fighter, but his accuracy is probably going to be as good as a fighter though. So. And his hit points, his endurance is not going to be as good as a fighter, that's most certain. Okay, so let's take a look at his skills. He does have a really good stealth with a 2, and he's got a decent mechanics with a 2, and he's got a survival of 1, so his consumables will have a little bit better duration. So as a rogue, he's going to have crippling strike. He can use that 2 per encounter. He's going to have an average speed. He's going to have an interrupt of half a second, and that will allow him to hobble targets, and hobbling is going to be able to reduce the target's dexterity by 2 and also reduce his movement by a bit and his reflexes by 20, and that will last for 10 seconds. And that's also a full attack ability, so he can use both his weapons. I am dual wielding him right now, so, and that is a 1.25 damage multiplier. And let's see, what else does he have here for abilities? He's got Fighting Spirit. I believe that is because he's a human, yeah. And that's a passive ability, and if his endurance falls below 50, that allows him an increase in accuracy by 7, and it also gives him a damage multiplier of 1.15 for 20 seconds. And because of the fact that he's a rogue, he gets the Sneak Attack passive ability, which also increases damage by 1.15% multiplier. Okay, and I think that's going to be about it for now. So let's take a look at a little bit of his stats. Yeah, as you can see, his endurance is pretty low along with his health, so I can't put him right up on the line with his fighters, but he can damn sure do some maneuver and maneuver behind some of the targets and do some pretty good striking. I am dual wielding him, so he should be okay with that regard because he does have a really good accuracy. Damage reduction is okay, and his deflection is okay. It's better than rest, but it's all right. And same with the rest of his defenses, along with his fortitude, his reflexes, and his will. It's okay. Okay, let's take a look at our companion here. Old Kaliska. She is a first level fighter, Meadow Folk Explorer. It's got a really good might with 17, giving her a really good damage bonus and a fortitude bonus. Constitution 14, which is giving her a good endurance and health bonus along with fortitude. Dexterity is average. Perception 12, giving her a little bit of an increase with interrupt and a little bit increase with deflection and reflex. Her intellect is just a little bit above average, giving her a little bit of bonus in will, along with her resolve, giving her a little bit increase in concentration and deflection and will. She's got a good deflection with a 29 and a really good fortitude, and about an average reflex and will. And then a decent deflection, and a really nice health and endurance. Really good damage with her primary weapon, and secondary weapon is okay. And a decent accuracy. Alright, what does she have for active effects? Nothing. She's got a little bit in athletics, decent lore, so she can use some scrolls, and she's got a decent survival. Constant recovery. Whoa, let's see, what was this? As a passive effect, she gets a plus 3.6 endurance bonus. Okay, I think, yeah, this is a fighter bonus. Every time she's in battle, she's constantly regenerating endurance. And she gets Fighting Spirit, that's for being human. If her endurance falls below 50, plus 7 bonus to accuracy and damage for a few seconds. And she gets knocked down. The target gets knocked prone for a few seconds, and that's and she only gets to use her primary attack, although she is dual wielding right now. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at what we have for equipment right now. Alright, let's go to Travis first. Currently I am wearing a set of leather armor, which gives me a damage resistance of 6, and I'm dual wielding a pair of daggers, and that's about it. Kaliska's got a set of scale armor, which gives her a damage resistance of 7, and she's dual wielding a battle axe, which gives her a bonus on crit damage. And she's also got a burning torch in her other hand, which gives her a little bit extra burning damage with that as well. Not a whole lot, just plus 10% burning damage, but it's burning damage nonetheless. Alright, and for some additional equipment, we do have a Cloak of Obsidian. I think that's just for aesthetic purposes only. It doesn't do anything spectacular for us, so I think we'll go ahead and put that in our stash. And we have Gown's Pledge. I think that gives us a little bit bonus in endurance if we use that. Let's go ahead and equip that on one of us right now. It will probably benefit Kaliska at... I'm going to use her on the front line, so yeah, let's give that to her. And we also have this giant miniature space piglet. I think that's just an aesthetic pet right now. Right now we can only give that to Travis. Let's see, what does that look like. Yeah, it's just a little pet that follows us around. It doesn't do anything for us right now, so... Let's see what happens. Can we put that in the... Okay, yeah, let's just put it away for now. Alright, so... Let's go take a quick walk around. We got a bunch of these crates laying around. What is in here? We got a potion of minor regeneration. Plus 28 endurance for over 12 seconds. Let's go ahead and grab that. We got some money in there too. Let's take a quick walk around. What is this? These tall glass green pillars appear as if they have sprouted from the earth. The flickering fire sets shadows dancing within. Caravan Master Odema. These guys say anything else?
Go on then, before it gets too dark.
Alright. These guys don't say anything else special. And here we have a locked chest here.
Where there's a pick, there's a way.
And I have some mechanics points, so we should be able to open that up, and we just did for some experience points. And inside we have a potion of minor endurance, which does 50 endurance healing. Alright, let's grab that. And we have another crate down here. Let's go ahead and take a look at this one. And we have some clothing in here, which does nothing for us. We're going to go ahead and grab that. Alright, nothing else up this way. And we have something here. What is this? Orland's Cradle. What is this here? Now everything got sorted down here. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. What is this? Orland's Crater. So we have some crafting material here. We can probably look through that here in a little bit. Let's keep searching around. What is this? The fallen tree doesn't budge. Sap oozes from
Not
the
looking
jagged
forward to
mound.
trying to lift that thing tomorrow.
Nothing else this way. Let's take a look at the map. Okay, let's keep going this way. Alright, not seeing anything else of importance over here, so let's go back up to this guy here. Let's take a quick look at Hyoden. You see a man wearing simple but mostly neat clothes. He's transfixed, however, by a ragged tear in the seam of his tunic.
Brought a whole wagon full of goods to sell, but not enough shirts for the road.
He scratches one cheek with his knuckles. It's covered with uneven stubble, as if he hasn't quite gotten used to shaving on the road.
Say, is there anything you need? I've got some basic traveling supplies for sale if you'd like to take a look.
Who are you?
I'm a trader, originally from the Adir Empire, but I've been trying to establish new business out here. Life on the road has brought some unexpected challenges, to be sure. And I'm sure you've noticed how prickly the locals can be. But we're here to make the most of things, right?
Let's try this passionate option here. With an outlook like that, I'm sure you'll do well. We'll see, I suppose. I'm just trying to do right by my family.
Something else you need? Looks like we're settled for the night.
Let's see what you've got. Alright, so what's he selling? He's got a bunch of weapons. Let's see, we only have 110 coins though. Let's see, we can probably sell these clothes. I don't think we need them. Let's see, anything in the stash we can get rid of? We can probably sell that cloak. And I don't want to sell any of that. Let's see, can we sell the pig? No. Alright, let's see, what else can we get from this guy? Everything is pretty pricey. We can't really buy anything. Well, let's sell that stuff for now. We can get 112 coins for that. Alright, let's keep moving. Alright, who's this guy? Sparful. I think that's the guy going to look for our water.
I'll have your water soon enough. Stream's not going anywhere.
Alright. Alright, I think we're running a little low on time, so this is probably a good spot to do a quick save.